Consider the role of radiocarbon setting in the human record, tracing the passage of time with a hard-on, or the passage of what was thrown away. Our measure is the rate of decay, pulling the straps of history together, shells from the midden, tossing us back to barefoot antiquity. There stands our wanderer. First catch, stiff on the line. It's in the ice core. Every string in tune and singing. Some animals sense it before it happens. They can smell the next wave coming. Cosmic rays stroke the atmosphere, their smoky signal burnished by our passing. Wave after wave, spinning the dial against the background hiss of creation, measuring out our time to the core. Dancers at the back of the cave, guttering torches in the mind's eye. Signals run out beyond here. From this point on, the choir becomes a murmur, then vanishes. Water running silent beneath ice. We bury our dead in the ground and listen. The gauze curtain of cosmic forces that calibrate a human hair, rippling like a field of wheat through air, sackcloth through the ether, another medium we don't believe in anymore. Vanishing point. We're shouting in the last hours of illumination. Guest workers free running through the Roman dig behind the wreck until they reach the meadow, thickening in the frame to the lower interglacial. Tectonics folding words into the mouth as the sky sets in ice at the churned entrance to the site. Pockets of cloud frozen in mud scanning for their signal. It's 30,000 years from any Sunday papers. The news is grainy. The jobs at Beacon Hill brickworks are down to their last layers of clay when the school leaver strikes human deposits. Flint points cut from the core. A scattering of bones stops work and reels in the experts with free running water and full spectrum analysis. The school leaver palms the core and stoves it in a sock drawer. Sells it down the pub to a science teacher with a ley line handbook. Years later, older, wider, he can see bushes breathing in the breeze, swelling as if they knew just where to blow their blossom. The painter standing back to shift the spectrum of his palette. Cobalt, Chinese white, Payne's grey for the sky behind the copse, brushes loaded, aligned to depth and distance, the vanishing point of the furthest signal. Ice forms at the edge of the epoch. I see top coats in winter sun, the old kingdom buckling the tarmac, a breeze as light as crinoline. Winter gods rising from the archaeological dig, trailing clouds of dark matter. Like the sun, time develops spots, the shade of the willow attending to its needlepoint. A crown of beach burns against a western sky washed blue by storms, the dark air clearing to the far reaches of space, measures beyond meanings you know are there. It's midwinter, pivot of the solstice, Ice Age star patterns in the stomach contents of a woolly mammoth crated and packed in ice across Eastern Europe. Cro-Magnon's summer fruits in a hazy amber of golden pollen and ergot. Bringer of visions like these I lay before you. Searchlights dancing at the water's rim. The flurry of waves in the wake of the westerly, rusting the river to the sun's pelt of a young fox or golden fleece. Pastoralists. Overnight, floodwaters rose to whispering distance. The wet slap of dream voices, first words forming like coral, fruitful in the orchards of the Magdalenian world. High grasses and wild winds burning through the spectrum to where they lie as man and wife. Pastoralists, their bodies not whole until melted together and fired like clay. He wondered how many types of lightning there were. He took a blanket from the pile and settled on the decking of the Founders on the Thames, wrapped up tight like an Irish air in an unbroken voice. Everything strikes twice. It's the law of a well-oiled machine. A pop-up from the futures market warned, be careful what you wish for. The broken parts of the world were everywhere, falling like scaffold, the streets of the city lowing with livestock slipping and shitting its way back to gold standard. He counted 23 cranes over the city, their arms shrieking a semaphore of final demands, gathering forces. CSI. You'd been digging for clues, sorting the rubbish, what was thrown away. The plot had more holes than a colander, but still you kept digging until we hit bedrock. A few home truths, dim lights guttering at the back of the mind. You can see it all in radiocarbon. Every fall of pollen, every stitch in time. So that's where I come in, pouring at the curtain, dripping from the melt water, monsters of the deep, flashing in a stranger's eye. Put this shell from the coast of Clare to your ear. The sound is like a parachute opening, monkeys in the canopy bailing out from Feefle. You take what you carry and follow the signal back to source, feet to the fire, turning the dial to slash and burn, to have and to hold what is tangible in this world. The air black with bird gods, wind spirits clouding in a bell jar, vapors of the dreaming mind tuned to the faintest signal, wandering like a pioneer's route. Black ink soaking the paper, gold through the roof, the sleeping mind's sodium geometry. Holocene lamp. The names above the sound stage had been deliberately defaced. The tomb broken open, its contents scattered among the world's curiosities, sifting down through strata to laboratory temperature, low spectrum analysis. He weighed the Baghdad battery in his hand. What set was this? What line are we on? Who hangs the curtains around here? The ambience, the lighting. You feel the gears change, lurching of the foot passengers, the whole planet spinning from its center. The set was carried by invisible hands, cosmic stylists tearing up the score. You take a book from the shelf, Destruction of the Jaguar. Set your sights on the Mayan calendar, cloud banks rolling in like great ancestors across the plains. Lights going out 1,000 years from here, beneath layers of alluvial sediment. The bedstead of an erotic dream banging against the wall of your room as you wake in a spray of broken images. The running tide pulling back the covers on swollen idols, telltale hairs coating the surface and the grease of the unconscious mind. The setting of the Zargalol Cafe in the Manaub quarter of Port Said. Old men of the parchment hang from their pipes and fill the known universe with smoke. The look of beautification on the face of Magdi the Egyptian as the smoke clears, sweet tobacco and Lebanese hashish billowing from the holes in his face like tusks of silver wisdom. The pearly web of Sensamir, pharaonic lyre of Port Said unraveling its spell in a cafe by the canal. The smoke clearing through time and tide to a clear blue morning, toothless mouths yawning with laughter. Ennis Diamond. The town cascades roar like the mouth of Triton behind the street of old shop fronts. As the bus rolls up to the stop, we shuffle forward like zombies. The top deck fills from the rear, and the bus lurches into motion like a drunk from his seat and simmers through town, breathing on its air brakes till the hard turn to the coast road and the stop beyond the bridge, the sharp rills of wind across rainwater collecting on the roof of the shelter. A few strokes compose the line of the shore, the long sands of Liscannor, the light faster than itself. High atmospheres thrown across the beach where the town's Sufi brotherhood of surfers. The wedding planner pulls in his lobster nets. We watch to see the harbour lights. It's a good catch. The boats packing them in for the kitchens of the Paris Ritz. Wild route. My own history is south of here. Killarney and Tralee, the Quins and the Hurleys. The Hurleys on the quay at Cork. One tosses a coin, heads for America, tails for Britain, Merthyr, mines, munitions, Brum, the children's home, and me. I walk the length of sand north of the Burren, its lunar wake of a landscape, radiating a light I knew was there before I knew. I stop to smell the air, ancestral breathing, the famous dolmen made new. Freight. Night traffic shakes the window pane. Epic journeys cross the body politic like scar tissue, lines of the Nazca, sea to shining sea. You smoke fiercely. Letters from your father burning in your fist, the dead shifting in their waxy element. The system's crashed. The household gods are packing up their instruments and flying out. We're picking at the splinters, the spirits of the spectrum, throwing liar's dice down the great Hadron Accelerator, the Stonehenge of particle physics. What did you make of it then? Thumb pressure. The hand pressure between father and son set in their own gyroscopes, testing the atmosphere. Let's leave them there together, gesturing in their spacesuits, filling a void with good liquor. Tiny fish shine and flicker from the nib of your pen as you write this out of your labyrinth. Your choice of ink is analogous to the depth of the water you're in. Astrolabe. You're moving in cuneiform, breathing in bubbles. The water here is the measure of time distilled by muse and memory. Rock falls from a fogged past, laying down the baseline to the tip of your tongue, where it probes your lover's labia minora, shades of softest pencil lead. Clothes shed about you as you fuck on top of Longiford Tor on Midsummer's Day. Fern patterns in mackerel skies. Spunk and love juice spotting the granite like starlight on the dark side of the planet. Explosive. Love's weightless origami carries the body to forbidden places, the heart packed tight like explosive in a bomber's vest. A one-man army traveling west, the road filled with fallen wings, heavy buds on the lips of the faithful, the long dark thread in the blood, unraveling from the first exploded atoms of our coming. The passage of time had been broken, as if a hidden drawer in a traveller's chest had been sprung open, releasing perfumed scent of an older order, tiny stitching for a faded empire, sinking through solid matter as if it were vapor, the hard facts frosting on the glass. This sky looks cursed. Sleep sets you like a glaze. Afterburn. Smoking underneath the apple tree, heavy with smoke and blue blossom, whistling an old tune to bring the dogs home. And here they come along the unpaved road, the sagging fall to earth of the wild and distant fruits, fermenting the mind, alcoholic sugars rolling around the ball of your tongue. It's January in East Berlin, sky filled with Zeppelin and space dust, the passage of cumulus and cuneiform, setting clocks back to first clearing, signal and spark, pigment in a bowl ready to run into depth and distance, pubescent dances breaking step from Eden into settlement, accumulation, account. First words, like spring flowers coaxed from their center. The roof of the mouth is that point 2 inches below the navel, where humanity dukes it out with God's geometry, fastening to your face before sleep. Heavy feathered images frosting to the mind's eye, the rock and roll beat of the bicameral mind. Hard to remember learning the lingo. Foundations sunk through centuries of matter to the lower interglacial. Cold explosion of air in the lungs. Words pinned to the impenetrable like a veteran's medal. This train is being held at a red signal. Spinny. The bare copse looks loaded with munitions as we follow the fox run through wild spinnies between schemes. Not much to pick over for the remote viewer. The land's been drained of its water gods and we're hand-winding the day forward the way it should be done, straight from the bottle, the neck, the heart swollen with pollen, bourbon and tobacco, raising the feathers, stirring sleepers from long-abandoned stations, buddleia heavy with fresh blossom, obsidian clock face turning from solid to soft core, silver catch leaping in the net, tightening at the neck and shouting new constellations across the sky. Midwinter fire burns in the bushes as I walk with my daughter Natasha through fragile blue and skeins of snow. So the fetus dreams 24/7 in mother's womb, images of heaven blown across the back of the cave. Bull, stag, reindeer, horse running in the mind, dilated awakening, russet of winter willow over deep water looped with the flicker of the sun's cascade, white explosions of light and cruel air, the play of thread between words and the things beyond words.